Do you mind if I eat my sandwich?
I don't mind one bit. I got a bottle of
Mr.
water
Ace
from.
Deli.
Is that the place you? Excuse me. When I was over, that we got sandwiches from.
No, I think that was like Jersey Mike's. It was a chain,
Okay.
but this place is legit.
Well, I do love Jersey Mike's.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Jersey Mike's and
We
Mark.
tried to we tried to order Jersey Mike's an hour ago and we called them. They said hour and a half. Wait, we're out of bread.
All right, welcome back. We've got the one and only, the majestic, the sweet on his feet, Mister Hitch Scarcella.
I'm back, baby.
You're back. You have a new look. You've got the Jeffrey Dahmer plus 40.
There you go. I'm a real people person, if you know what I mean.
No, you got your Hitch Summer look. The doc said I showed him a picture of you, and he's like, I'm not used to seeing Hitch look like that. I'm like, I've seen the many faces of Hitch.
Yeah, this was a surprise to me, man. I was kind of over the long hair. It was getting to be a lot to manage, and I called up Johnny Boy and said I need a haircut. I had all these pictures on my phone of all these handsome celebrities, and I'm like, what about this one? What about that one? What about this one? And he's like, dude, your hairline starts back here. He's like, the best we can do, man, is just shave it. And we went through phases. We went like number 4, number 3, number 2.5, and I said, fuck it, dude, rubber band it. I'll donate it and just do it. So
He gave you the Sergeant Pyle.
yeah, it was time.
I
It
love
was
it. Well,
time.
man, I'll tell you what, it's good to have you back. I know Wayne's still out. I texted him. He actually reached out to me asking how things have been. He's been coaching football, super busy. I know he wants to get back on, sends his regards, but we've got, dude, some action going on right now on the actual fan forum Facebook group that you started years ago.
Hell
That's
yeah.
now almost at 4,000 members. So what I wanted to do is bring that up real quick because you know our friends or our followers, they really are seem to be all over the place, right? So I want to scroll down to some comments that we had here.
Hey, can I make a quick comment before we dig right
Yeah,
in?
yeah, go ahead. It's your
I'm
show too, brother.
I'm digging the background, man. You did some work to your little studio here.
Oh, thanks. I forgot. We haven't even really talked about that. Thanks.
I've seen your lives. I was watching even though I couldn't be present, but the studio looks tight, dude.
Well, again, I mean, you know how I am. I just can't rest until I have it the certain way. And each episode of all 40 some episodes, there's something different about my background.
Oh yeah.
And now it's staying the way it is.
I still think we should devote a little bit of time. Maybe you can just hold it up and say this is the record album that we're featuring this week. And we can talk a little bit about Jethro Tull or a little bit about Tito Puente before we get right into it.
I can bring the record back. That's the one thing I didn't hang back up was the shelf.
Bring
I
the
wasn't
records
sure if
back.
it threw the vibe off. Okay.
Bring
Because
the
I
records
enjoyed
back.
picking out a record each week that I put up.
And
Um,
we've never talked about it live and in color, but I thoroughly enjoyed the records.
Okay, good. I think a few followers of ours mentioned it, but it was the Frank Zappa one,
The
the
Zappa
Chungus
was
Revenge.
probably one of my favorites, and I've bought you some vinyl throughout the years too. So we'll get to it, but that might be a little nice side segment here for our rock and roll fans.
Okay, well, I dig that. I won't forget about that. I promise. All right, so we have Hitch. We got the Facebook page pulled up. This was, I think, something you suggested with, why can't we do a call-in number
Right.
and a voicemail?
Right.
So we did. It's simply set up through Google Voicemail, and you call, you leave a voicemail, 313-536-0878. I don't know what we're going to call that yet.
Maybe I don't know, 313 just says grit. It's got grit. But
It does.
you've thrown out some names. We have a few segment names in contention. We'll convene a little meeting of the minds and figure that out. But The number's active.
The number's active. So far, we have one message, and it's from Bob, and I can't
Oh
play
God, Lesage or Bravos?
it from Lesage.
Oh God, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
It had to do with a lot of profanity and a little bit of hockey.
Not even profanity, just a lot of like
Incoherent babbling.
mixed with very sexual sweet talk.
Okay. Okay.
So while I appreciate him hopping right on it, I don't know if we should play that.
Was there a pun intended there? Just hop right on.
Yeah, exactly. No
Yeah.
pun. But seriously, there's been so many of you that have said or texted me, let's get on here right now. I got an opinion on something. Call the number, leave it on the voicemail. We'll play it, and I will find a way to edit them. So maybe I'll do that. I'll upload Bob's voicemail, and I'll bleep out a lot of the weird stuff.
Yeah. All right, dude. Well, we have some interaction here on these posts. I think you asked for, we're recording, what's on your mind, and we got some response.
We did. Yeah, let's pull that up right now. I believe this is the one. What did I say? Okay, we have. What do you want us to talk about? All right, this one I posted back in May. So my mother-in-law, who's a huge supporter, she said, I'm thinking a cartoon podcast with a cartoon special guest each week.
Okay.
Now listen, a week after she said that, the software we use allows us to make us into a cartoon.
Well, there you go. It's almost like
So-
you knew what was coming.
I guess so.
Can you make a cartoon of me eating this sandwich?
I will show you a video that the doc sent me. And then I'm going to tell you I can make your face into what I'm as realistic as that.
Uh-oh.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
Oh's right. Goes along with your haircut.
Right.
All right, so this is your brother-in-law Mike, right? So
Yeah.
he brought up a lot of good points. He says, should we have the same level of confidence in the Lions this year as we had last year? Should we have more, less? Being a Lions fan for the better part of the last 50 years, it's still hard to have confidence even when they're looking incredible. Do they deserve a higher degree of confidence this coming season? Are we past their prime? And they're probably going to let us down again. God damn it, Mike.
Yikes.
Should we expect more from them this season? I want to. I really do. But it's so hard being a long-suffering Lions fan, as we all know. What is our true confidence level that we're going to make out of the first round of the playoffs, into the big game? And is Hitch ready to get another dog?
Well, here, I'll show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see this.
Uh-oh, we're in Hitch vision.
Oh, boy. Ruby, come here. Ruby, come here.
Get out of here.
Come here, Ruby.
Oh, you got a shop dog.
I got the
Aw.
shop dog. Look at how there's a big oaf that just loves
Aw.
to do that. She's a survivor, too. She got attacked by coyotes and shit. You see the bare spot on her ass?
I can see that.
She's my new ride or die, man. And I also have my other shop mate here. We got Eric.
Hey, Shop Eric.
Give a wave.
Shop Hand Eric.
We got Eric. We got Ruby. I'm here. You're here. The band is back together, dude.
Wow, man. Well, that's a beautiful looking pup you got there. I'm glad.
She's chill. She loves the shit out of Maggie. I don't want to occupy all the time, but I got some funny fucking stories about this dog already. So maybe if we're lacking on content, I can tell you about the raccoons and shit. But, yep, shop dog complete. Wanted to name her Rory. Didn't pass. Tried to name her Barry. Didn't pass. We settled on Ruby. I like it. It fits. But, yeah, I was looking like I even threw out Spielman. And my wife was not down for it, so I tried.
Okay, I can understand why you don't want to yell Spielman for your dog.
Yeah. So I got the Ruby Roo over here, and she's
Good try.
She's a shop fixture.
She looks like a ruby.
Ruby Roo.
Well, so that, Mike, that answers that question. Hitch, I don't know if you were really ready, but you got a new dog.
Got the dog.
Um,
Don't regret it.
got the dog. Love the dog. Well, let's talk about his question because I
Yeah.
think that's a solid ass question.
Are we pulling the string? Are you doing the fire up the hitch right now? Because I got responses, but I don't wanna take over here.
Well, take over. You're eating a goddamn sandwich. You've already taken over.
Dude,
You've
I am
already
I
you
am
got your
eating.
dog.
Yep. Got my
You got your
dog,
shop
got my
master.
friend, got my sandwich.
I got my dog. I got my friend.
Yep. It's a country song right there.
It sure is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, dude, listen. You have been locked away in hiding,
Making moves.
making moves, baby, making moves,
Cutting hair,
waiting
making
for
moves.
this moment. If there's anybody that wants to talk about the confidence, I want you to tell me what your opinion is.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you to do this for me. Let's break this very well thought out response into pieces here. Read me like the first piece. I want to take it question by question.
Okay, first question is should we have the same level of confidence in the Lions this year as we had last year?
My immediate answer to that is 1000% yes, because if you look back at the level of confidence we had in our Detroit Lions going into the year last year, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you think that we would win 15 games?
No, I did not.
Did
Nope.
anybody think we were going to win 15 games?
Maybe that crazy guy that always gets the Super Bowl tattoo every year.
Yeah, right? That asshole that now has to cross it out and get the 2026 put on it. So if the question stands as it was posed, do we have the same amount of confidence going into the season as we did last year? Resoundingly, at this point last year, I did not think they were going to win 15 games. At this point last year, and you can look it up and you can fact check us, or maybe Mike or the doc can, but I think we had a very earnest conversation about how many games we thought this team would win. And I think we all agreed that they would probably win the North. I think we all agreed that by doing so, they inherently would make the playoffs. And I think I had them at 10, 12-ish, 13-ish wins. That benchmark, I don't think is out of reach. The team looks different, and we'll address that in the next part of Mike's question. But going into this season, without the schedule in front of me, without a player to be named later who gets injured early or towards the end of camp, at this point in time, I think that I have every bit as much confidence in the fact that they can win the North and therein make the playoffs.
I think you summarized what I would have said too, Hitch. You're not wrong. It's everybody, and I talked about it on the last episode, the 90-cent hot takes that everybody wants to get, the shit stirring. I understand it. It's part of what they do. But, dude, you're coming off a 15-2 season, right?
An
The team is
unprecedented 15-2 season.
unprecedented. This team is extremely young. This team is financially balanced. This team has a large future ahead of them with the current roster they have. This isn't a one and done roster year,
And
right? Go ahead.
you can't discount the players that they've re-signed and restructured and got locked down before they had to, right?
Yep.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, locked down. Running back, locked down, right? Penny Sewell, I believe, already renegotiated, right? So there's been some names out in the wind where we weren't sure what we were going to do about like the Laportas and the Jamos of the world. And I think you covered this when I couldn't go live with you, but we just got weaker in a sense at offensive line with the Ragnow news, right? Frankie Boy, all praise him. He did the best he could. He played with a broken fucking throat. I didn't even know that was a thing. He's playing with his toe, just swinging around in his cleat. Cannot be surgically repaired. 29 years old, 5,000 plus snaps, 6 fucking sacks allowed in his career, right?
You know what? I got live. I actually have a clip of the broken. What injury did you just say? Actually,
The larynx or the throat, or he had a broken bone in his fucking neck, and he never once thought about not playing through it.
so that's the one. I don't know how you already knew to talk about that, but I got a sound clip from it. Listen.
Rock and roll.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Right? So this guy gave it all. He gave all he could, and I hold no animosity, nor should anyone else. The fact that he retires at 29 because he gave us what, 6 years, whatever it is, of
7.
7 years of Hall of Fame caliber football. And then by retiring now, when he feels that he cannot physically do it anymore, and no animosity for that, that is money that comes off. That is money that goes right back in. And so now that solves our Jameson problem, our potential Jameson problem. That solves our potential Laporta problem, right? So I think what we were talking about was the confidence going into this, and a lot looks different, but it looks different. The offensive line got a little bit of a pretty big downgrade, but this is somebody that you can't replace. If he told us that he was retiring before the draft or before free agency, you can't replace him.
I'm glad you said that because I get it. It crushed everybody's soul, right? But here's the alternative. He doesn't retire. He's on the roster next year, and he's on the IR week 2
Even
because
if
he's telling you, even if he makes it to week 7,
even
if
if he
he's
makes
not
it to
in the
week
playoffs
17,
healthy,
you need this man at 29 years old to have a future quality of life. You
so
cannot be
let him
mad
have
about
his
this.
you have him let him have his future quality of life. This was inevitable, man. I sent you and Wayne a message months ago, and I said this is what our potential offensive line will look like. This was right after the draft, and I said this is what it'll look like. Either it was a year out from next season, and it had Rutledge at center, Mahogany at left. Like it said this was the inevitable future plan, right? Having Ragnow for 3 more years, 1 more, 2 more, that just wasn't in the cards. It
Right.
wasn't an
We
option.
knew that
So
going
I
into
want
last year that it wasn't a long-term thing. Guy wasn't going to play
exactly. So I
football till he
want
was 36.
so people have to just move on and say you drafted, like, look at this guy that we drafted. If you want to find somebody who was going to replace him that was wholesome, hardworking, a grunt, consistent, like, that's who we drafted.
Right.
It's not like we drafted Frank Ragnow in the first round. Did we draft him in the first round? No.
No, we
You
did
know,
back in the day.
Frank Ragnow?
Frank Ragnow was a first-round pick. I think he was 13th overall, maybe.
Was he first round?
I believe so.
I thought he was second
No,
round.
I think he was like 13th overall or something.
Good Lord. First round, 20th pick. You're right.
20th
Holy
pick.
shit.
Yep.
You're calling, yeah, wow. I could have swore he was a second round pick.
But
Oh my
if you
God.
recall, maybe the confusion is when we drafted him, everybody was
What
like,
year was that?
What? Like, what are they doing? They need a defensive tackle. They need a corner. They need a wide receiver.
Wow, I
They need a fucking quarterback.
completely blocked that out of my head.
So, the consensus,
Travis Swanson. That's who
right?
he replaced.
The-
Oh my
right?
God.
So the consensus at the time that we drafted him was a little bit of a surprise because he wasn't on a big radar. But Belichick wanted him. Cincinnati wanted him. And after we drafted him, everyone said if the Lions didn't take him at 20, he was a lock at 21, 22, 23, 24. He fell to us because the people that know football knew that he was a dog. So we had 7 years of Frank Ragnar playing Hall of Fame level football. He was quite literally the anchor of what turned into this turnaround that Brad Holmes has perpetuated through drafting offensive linemen. And when they said 2 or 3 years ago that his foot is hanging or his toe is hanging by a ligament and it is not surgically repairable, and this we knew then that he wasn't going to play till he was 34. So, like you said, they turn around and they weren't certain. I believe that they truly weren't certain if he was going to play or not. They were going
We'll never know. Oh, I
They-
guess we will if Brad Holmes comes out and says it sometime.
I think they were going to let him decide on his timetable. And I think when OTAs were getting ready to start, he just thought, motherfucker, I can't do this. So the fact that you cannot replace a player of that caliber immediately, you go out and you draft the Motor City Mullet, You go out and you draft a big mauler of a guard from LSU. You have Mahogany that is panning out, playing much higher than his draft stock would have dictated or articulated at this point in time. I think we're okay. So are we going to win 15 games? Nobody can pencil that in. But
Nobody.
I think that we're going to win the North. Is that 12 games? Is that 13 games? Who knows how big of a dogfight it might turn into? But if you look at the early power rankings coming out right now, we're ranked anywhere from 1 to 5. What does that tell me? Everyone thinks we're going to make the playoffs,
Oh yeah.
right? Your offensive line got worse, but arguably your defensive line got better. You got Rexstraw back to post up and compete for your third spot at corner. You have Nickelback locked down. You have cornerbacks 1 and 2 locked down with everybody looking for not Robertson as in our nickel, but our Terry Arnold to make a big step forward. And if he doesn't, guess what? You signed Reed, who's probably a better player than the one we lost, right? So you look position to position, it looks different, but it's one of the best constructed rosters in the entire league. Top 5.
And that's the point we all need to focus on. I think that should answer Mike's question, and that should answer a few people's questions too. Kirk asked, kind of said the same thing, right? Everyone seems to be lingering on about this confidence issue, but you've already given us the confidence. You've guided us the old wise hitch down this road of, listen, we have one of the most well constructed rosters in the NFL right now. The addition and subtraction is, and the attrition is just something that's part of the business. No team is
Perfect.
invincible
Yeah.
when it comes to these situations. And the key thing is, and I've said it, man, and a few of the folks on the fan forum said it, we got to be healthy. Everyone wants to just be healthy when they get to the playoffs. Healthy in the playoffs. And I'm going to quote our fearless leader. I got to pull this up. I sent it to you earlier today. But they asked him the same thing, right? They said, hey, I was going to bring this up later, but you jumped into the schedule situation. And they asked him, are you afraid of this schedule,
Nope.
right? When you look at this schedule, do you see a losing season? Are you afraid? And he said, listen, they asked him, how's it going to look at the end of the season, right? After this schedule, we should be scarred up and ready to go, hardened for battle, ready for playoffs.
Fuck yeah.
So he's literally telling me, as the fans, saying it's going to be a gauntlet. This is football.
It's always
We're going to be scarred up because every team is going to be, but we're going to be battle tested, right? Because they went through the battle last year, and now they're coming back battle tested, and they're going to be ready for the playoffs, healthy for the playoffs. So it's like, follow that mantra, guys. If that's what you're worried about, if you're struggling with confidence, call 313-536-0878 and leave a message and tell the old wise hitch why you need a confidence boost.
I'll give you one.
You'll give them quite a boost.
I don't think
Well,
that
well,
the team's window is closing. When people talk about Super Bowl window, in a way it's bullshit because you have to win the draft. You have to spend money in free agency. You have to assume that all of the NFL is going to get better, and you have to get better with it. Winning those 15
course.
games. Not to beat a dead horse, but
unless it's the Browns.
winning 15 games has never been done before, in part because of there's undefeated teams, right? But winning 15 games, you have an extra game, right? That we didn't have once. But winning 15 games is not how you measure the level of success at the end of the year. You measure the level of success by what you did in the playoffs and who won the fucking Super Bowl. And in the NFC North and in today's NFL, 10, 11, 12 wins is going to get you there. And we're going to get you into the playoffs. And we're to be on this point where we're looking at the schedule. And yes, this schedule is tough. But don't you remember the years of every schedule just thinking, fuck, there's 12 losses right here. Pencil in 12 losses. Those days are gone. The window is
I think
wide
at 10
open.
years in a row, we could have said that, dude.
You have good ownership now. You have good management and leadership now. The window's not going to close, dude, unless these guys start to just really fuck shit up. It's not going to close.
Well, the window closes when Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes break up.
If they have a breakup like this year, if one of them hooks up with one of their wives or something so wildly unforeseen happens, but these guys have already earned a couple losing seasons. Honestly, we don't want to go there. We don't want to talk about that, and I don't think it's going to happen. But what has to happen for these guys to get the axe? I don't see a mid-season firing. God forbid the
Oh,
God
no.
forbid the Lions come out and injury riddled again and tougher schedule, and they lose. Let's say they start 1-4. There is going to be no talk, no chatter about moving on. It's their team, it's their roster construction. They are legit. We are contenders because of this.
Oh, God.
The window's not gonna close, dude. As long as you keep doing what you're doing, why would that window close?
I'm totally with you. You said 1-4. I'm thinking of the conversations you and I would have to have if that happened. No, you're right, man. Listen, the window is wide open because of the youth and the way we continue to get better along with the NFL, something we never used to do. Man, you said it. Every team is supposed to get better every year, but there are still a handful of those teams that don't, right? We've always
We
fell
used
into
to be
that
one of them. We
category.
used to be one.
We were the kings, right? Kings of the shit. So now you've got the Browns taking over for us, and they just continue to do Browns stuff,
Yep.
right?
I think we could put the Titans in that category.
Yeah, I would say Jacksonville's in that category.
Jacksonville could surprise you, honestly. We don't need to go down that road of all of this, but I feel like Jacksonville could surprise you.
They could surprise us, but no, you're right. Needless to say, the buzz that's coming out right now with the OTAs winding down and us getting into actual camp is not your traditional Lions buzz, right? I'm seeing a lot of the defense is outplaying the offense right now. Now
Yep.
we can chalk that up to a new offensive coordinator, right?
Yep.
Scheme being harder to adapt to. But considering the defense was riddled with so many injuries, all those guys came back and they're just bing, bang, boom on every level out to prove everybody wrong. So Rackstraw seems to be pulling up some huge buzz at camp right now. If there was anybody that wanted to be seen, it seems to be old Enos.
Now, good old Enos here, I've heard through the grapevine that he can't keep up with JMO.
Who
Now,
can?
that's what I'm going to say here. Does it trouble you? Does it bother you that he can't keep up with JMO? Or is that another feather in JMO's cap where we're looking at it like who can, right?
This is why they call you the wise one. My follow up question was going to be: is JMO stepping into, and no disrespect to the Sun God, is he stepping into WR1? And if that's the case, then yeah, that's great for Rackstraw because our hopefully Pro Bowler, consistent over 1,000 yards every year in receiving yards, wide receiver who's blowing the NFL away. Yeah, I hope that's what the case. And I think it is, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of people talking about Rackstraw. I've been, reading the last couple days, and that seems to be the only person they really want to talk about. So
I feel like in order so to handle your question in chunks here, I feel like to be a wide receiver one in the NFL, there's two options. You're the only guy, so that makes you a wide receiver one by not even attrition, just by being there. And then there's a wide receiver one that can do everything. There's a wide receiver one that can go out on a wheel route. There's a wide receiver one that can block. The same guy can go over the middle with sure hands. The same guy can run every route on the route tree. The same guy can be an over the top threat. So I think what we're dealing with here potentially is wide receiver one and wide receiver 1B. I think that we have our guy in Amon Ra that can do everything that aforementioned. They can run the full tree. They can block. They can go into the backfield. They can go into motion. They can play the X, Y, the Z, and the fucking W, right? And then you have a guy like JMO, and I hate to keep saying it or to be the next one to say it, but your Tyreek Hill type guy.
Yeah.
I think Tyreek Hill early,
Over the top.
earlier in Tyreek Hill's career, if you compare both of them at the age that they're at now or their years in the league that they're at now, I think there was a point in time where Tyreek was a little bit more polished and a little bit more complete of a receiver than JMO. But when you look at the JMO ceiling, I don't know even if he could run the full route tree. I don't know if he's ever going to be in a point that we have to ask him to on a consistent level because we have Amon Ra. Amon Ra, in my opinion, is the wide receiver one.
Okay. Okay. I mean, so I just asked our Hitch GPT to throw me up some comparable stats for Tyreek and JMO, and I mean, really, what it comes down
Does it
to,
just
Hitch, is
say
you're
fast as
highlighting.
fuck?
It pretty much, really, what it comes down to is you're calling the big play threat out, right? So yards per catch, Hill career average 14 and a half, JMO 16. Game breaking ability, I mean, one's Hall of Famer and one is promising flashes, but like it's just there. You're right? He has top 10 wide receiver potential, but I'm saying this is the year that he needs to prove it. He put on a little bit of weight, he put on a lot of bit of muscle. He changed his number back to his college number to 1, which Gibbs went to 0, which is strange.
Well, now they allow it. They never even really used to allow 0 till a couple years ago.
And those guys that bought Gibbs jerseys now, what are you gonna do? I think JMO has this year to prove that he's a generational talent, right? And that would make the pick of him going back to that draft. You go, oh wow, that looks real juicy.
I think it looks juicy already. We've seen what he can do. When he plays, he is electric. When he plays, he can run the ball on a trick play or a reverse. I think he can do it all. But to my point, we don't have to ask him to do it all. All he
You're
has
right.
to do is remain available and be on the fucking field.
Say no more. Yeah, I think you summarized it right. So, hey, this is going to be something I want us to watch on this year is, okay, JMO's big year for wide receiver 1. This secondary to kind of take that a little bit matured status, right? You're not hurt. You're playing solid. We have
We have a new
voids
coordinator.
filled. We have a little bit of depth. The secondary just plays the way it needs to. We do, and yes, specifically highlighting the corner. But here's one I want to ask you. Okay, we haven't really gotten into this yet. This used to be the best conversation to have as a Lions fan was the quarterback roster battle, right? The depth chart.
Yep.
So obviously, JG Money is number 1. Now you've got Hendon Hooker
Yep.
and Kyle Allen, the 7-year vet. I can tell you what I'm reading in the camp buzz, but I want to hear your opinion.
So I think you bring in a guy like Kyle Allen to push Hendon Hooker. If push comes to shove, if we get into that scenario where Goff is unavailable, I think that they're going to have a situation where you have your vet that maybe knows how to control a huddle a little bit more, that maybe gets the ball out a little faster, but you also have Hendon Hooker, and without somebody legit on this roster that can challenge Hendon Hooker, I'm not saying he's lazy, I'm not saying he was unmotivated, but I'm saying when somebody is on your heels to take your job, you're going to work harder. Again, not an indictment on him, but it doesn't hurt It this it,
Valid statement.
it
I
this
guess my question is Kyle Allen the right guy to nip at his heels?
Yeah, I think he is. I think anybody that is a 7-year vet that demonstrates knowledge of the playbook, that is quote unquote that field general, that pushes you or is taking a couple quality snaps from you in practice makes you work harder. I don't think that his work ethic is an issue, but it can't hurt. And you also have to remember before drafting Hendon, the revolving situation or issue that we had with the who is the second QB. And the second
David Blau.
David Blau, who is the cat from Pittsburgh that we signed. We paid big.
Hitch, I went back and listened to like a really old episode of the Fan Forum, and we were talking about this exactly. And I'm like, listen to the names we're throwing around that we had to talk about.
Yep. So I think that going into this season and the way that they approach free agency and they approach this draft, they weren't going to get caught with their pants down again, right? They are going to do whatever they have to do to shore up every position with as much depth as possible under the cap rules to not get caught with their pants down. And now don't discount the fact that we have until what, August to come up with our 53-man roster.
Mm-hmm.
Allen might not make the team, but
It's true.
Allen is there right now through OTAs and through mini camp and through all the druthers to push Hendon. And I don't think he's there to threaten Hendon. I think he's there to work with Hendon. I think he's there to be a presence for Hendon to learn from for what it's worth, right?
Sorry, I just had like a police academy moment in my head where they bring him into camp and they're like, "All right, we brought you here just to threaten Hendon. All right, you need to torment him. You need to scare him." He's just popping out of the shower, and
Right.
we're not giving you a playbook. Just threaten the shit out of this guy.
I mean, think about this position that he's in. They're like, we're gonna bring you in and we're gonna guarantee you X amount of dollars to go through the paces with us and to be a positive presence, right?
And you would have think by now Kyle Allen is used to that role, and that I would kill to have that role, right? Because it pays really well, and his job really is just to push the others and find that right opportunity for himself to get in.
If Kyle,
You're an aging vet. You're 7 years in. You're not going to be the franchise,
right?
the head of the franchise of a team, right?
If Kyle Allen thought that he was a starting level quarterback in this NFL, he would not be here. Kyle Allen
Correct.
knows who he is. We all know who Kyle Allen is. The question is, what is Hendon Hooker? And Kyle Allen being
Do you know
present,
who you are?
no, that's the existential crisis that I'm living out. Uh, but if he thought he was a starter, he would not be here, right?
You're right.
He's going to come here. We got a good reputation. We got a players coach. He's going to come here, and I don't necessarily think that we're going to go into this season with 3 quarterbacks on the roster
No, I would agree with you.
unless we think that he would be poached. I think we would love to have him on our practice squad, bring him up and down as the rules allow, to be a presence in the locker room, to be, you know what, something that nobody ever talks about is with the new rules in relation to how you can practice squad players and move those players up and down. People never talk about the quality of your scout team. These guys get to
That's true.
These guys get to practice with the 53-man roster. If you're worried about your cornerbacks taking another step forward, you have a young corner, you have a new corner, you have an early injured rookie corner from last year that you're hoping, if Rakestraw takes a step forward, our secondary is scary because we got Branch and we got Joseph. So what nobody ever talks about is the quality of the practice reps. And if you can protect a guy like Allen and keep him at your practice, that makes your secondary better because Hendon doesn't have to take abuse. Jared Goff isn't going to take abuse in practice. You get a quality quarterback, albeit maybe a fringe number 2, to practice every fucking week with your starting offense. And that then makes everything better for your defense, for your wide receivers. It makes practice reps better.
So that's why our confidence is high right now, is what you're telling me. Thumbs up, baby. You know what you remind me of?
What's that?
You remind me of a monk right now.
Certainly not because of how silent I am.
You need to have a like one of them big brown things over. You got your buzzed head. You're building all this wisdom. You're helping all the Lions fans get through these what do we call these nervous summer months, right? Like
I think
this is just so different.
we call it a trauma response, right?
Okay, yeah, in your
Not to
profession.
minimize people that have had actual trauma, but back to what Mike has said, after years and years and years and years of looking at these schedules saying we're fucked, we're fucked, we're fucked. It's a trauma response. We want to feel real good about this, but we can't because we were so beat on. We were so used to bottom of the barrel that when things turn around, we can't accept it as the bright side that it is until they really prove it to us. And last year, their early bounce out of the playoffs kind of reignited that trauma.
Yeah, I did. It got close to the nerve for some people. It really did. And I kind of was worried about my trauma response coming up where I spiked my Job at Best jersey t-shirt into the garbage. But I think I handled it pretty well because all things considering, I always told myself going back into football as a Lions fan, I just have to, like if these players aren't fucking crying and they're getting all this money, I need to chill the fuck out, right?
Listen, if these guys ever win a Super Bowl, which I think they're poised to do sooner
I'll
rather
cry.
than later. Oh, I cry when they lose. I cry when they win. I cry all the time.
I'll cry when they win a Super Bowl. I really will.
hmm I think we've talked about this before. I think I'll watch it by myself. I will watch it by myself.
Well, I don't think you're going to need to because I want to kick it back to the fan forum. Bob wants to know which road game you guys are going to. Now, there was quite a bit of chatter in here, and I don't know if you're a part of this road game conversation, but I thought that was kind of a good idea, right? Like, if any of these guys go to a road game, we need to buy them some fan forum gear and get them to record some
That's a great idea.
hey, interacting with the other fans.
Yeah.
Right? If you're in Cleveland or you're in Pittsburgh, like I want to see, we'll
So
play it right on here.
so these guys are they of course they haven't bought tickets yet, but they're on pace to go to Cincinnati.
Oh, they're going to go to Cincinnati. That's cool.
I have not ruled out going with them. We got to see where the chips fall, but they're they're steadfast in their plan to go to Cincinnati.
Well, the Beef Stew crew, I hope you guys can take some pictures. Excuse me, we're going to get you guys some fan forum gear, which is available on our Fourth Wall website. Speaking of gear, I'm going to come over and pick up that jersey from you, Hitch.
Timmy can finally
and
get
take it over.
His major award, his leg lamp of the forum. If
Oh
you will.
my God! At this point, you should at least cook them dinner too.
Dude, it is
Poor boys had
it
to
is
wait.
still in my car, right behind my passenger seat or my driver's seat, in the pocket, in the cellophane. I have fought the urge to just take it, but it's not mine. It's Tim's, and it's there.
God, he's such a nice guy, man. What has he ever done to you?
I'm not a real go-getter.
I'm not one of them do guy thingers.
Nothing against him. I'm just not that motivated, dude. I work an exhausting job, and I got kids like we all do, and I get home from work, and I'm like, fuck. I should take Tim his jersey, but I'm like, fuck. I have to play Barbie dolls right now.
Well, I have the time now, so Jason doesn't want to play Barbie dolls anymore. We'll coordinate something. I'm gonna come over this week before I go up north, which I guess would have to be tomorrow, and pick that thing up and drop some stuff off to you from my father-in-law.
I'll be here. I'm
Perfect.
ready and waiting.
So
for
JT
the-
Barrett, this guy, this clown, says, "Don't worry, I'll be there when we hand you another home field loss from the Bucks."
You know what? Is this guy from Detroit or not?
This guy, he's from
You know
Detroit.
what?
Yeah.
I got no room for this then. I want to talk to JT Barrett. I know that the Lions were hard to watch for a long time, and we all had our secondary teams. I was a Titan guy for a while. You know, Eddie George still holds a solid part of my heart. Um, but JT, you're from Detroit, man. It was hard, and we all got through it without just totally jumping ship. So I want to get JT on here. I want to talk to JT.
JT's going to be on here. He's going to be our local Bucks fan
Yeah,
that's going to come on
I'm ready.
and have a conversation. You might know him as the Doc,
Oh,
Hitch.
the doc is JT. I did not know this.
Or is JT the Doc?
Who knows? But either
One will
way,
never
I want to
know.
talk to one of them. I know how hard it was, dude, but I did not jump ship. Does he have family in Florida? Did he was he in the military in Florida? What's the Florida tie, dude? Because no one else jumped ship.
Does it have to do with Garth
No pun
Brooks?
intended. No one else jumped ship. Tampa's good,
Well,
dude. Warwick Dunn has a special place in my heart. John Lynch is probably my favorite athlete of all time across all sports. But it never once said no little voice in my head, no little devil on my shoulder said that's your new team.
I'm going to let him tell his story because he has a story, and I think we should let everyone speak their own.
Well,
So I
get
think
the
that's a
doc.
great thing for you to ask him.
Let's roll. No, I'm
All
not
right.
casting any aspersions. I'm just saying that we all lived through this. We all lived through the free art van tickets and the blackouts and the Charlie Batches of the world. We all lived through this. I want to
I
know.
agree.
I want to know what was the turning point for Doc. There has been times where I shut the TV off, dude, and I said, I can't do it. I can't do it this weekend. I watched a half and I can't do it. But I never once was like, fuck them. I'm now a Bucks fan.
Well, we're going to get to the bottom of this, I promise you. We've already cracked the mystery of where in the world was Hitch. We're going to get to the bottom of why the Doc likes the Bucks. So let's think about this, man. We've got a Bucks fan in here. We've got some Green Bay fans, but we also have some
They're the
diehard
worst.
Lions
The
fans.
Green Bay fans
You
are the
know,
worst.
you know Nick Venditelli is a diehard Lions fan, and he's saying 11 to 12 wins max, which I kind of is what you were saying, right?
Well,
Like
I'm
this
not
again.
saying I looked at the schedule and I'm saying 11 or 12 wins, but I'm saying 12 wins through this projected hard fought NFC North will get
Right.
you into the playoffs. It might not even
But
win the North, but it'll get you into the playoffs.
and I'm just saying, I think his post kind of says, listen, we're going to go through a dogfight. He says it. It's going to be a dogfight, minus 3 of them on the schedule. He's ready. Let's go. All I'm telling you is his confidence is already with you, bro.
Good.
He's got your back, Hitch.
Good,
His
dude.
confidence is up. Mike's confidence is up. Ed's is always at Ed level. He did bring up a good point, though. Who saw the Commanders being great and the Niners being trash last year?
Well,
Nobody. I think that was a good little reminder
that's
while
a
their
good
confidence
quip.
is up.
Let me address that real quick.
Okay.
And then we do have to wrap it up. I got Eric here. I got a sick kid. The dog is licking at my heels. But uh, what the Commanders were able to do shocked us. I don't think it shocked anybody else. I think it shocked Detroit. They had did he win Rookie of the Year? He should have if he didn't.
Did you just say Diddy?
Did not Diddy. I don't want to get shadow banned here. Did he win Rookie of the Year or not? Because he should have.
Yeah, I believe he did.
I think that the Commanders, when we caught them, they were what we were a year ago. The Commanders are an upstart program with great coaching.
He did.
Did he?
Dude, you know who won the first NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year?
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever?
They started giving it out in 1967.
67.
Yeah.
Was it a Detroit Lion?
Yeah.
Was it Len
It
Barney?
was.
Was it Len Barney?
No. He made commercials and sold cars.
Mel fucking Farr.
Mel fucking Farr.
Detroit reigns supreme once again. In the grand
Yes,
scheme of
sir.
things, to get the awards that don't really count for anything, we're there, dude.
Yes, and we sell cars, and our players sell below average barbecue, and Calvin Johnson sells weed and clothes,
I believe that to
and
be some really supreme weed. I don't think there's anything subpar about that weed.
Calvin Johnson seems everything he does is polished and thought out. I was referencing Billy Sims's
Oh, I
barbecue,
know it is
which
subpar.
it's
B
subpar
Dubs
barbecue.
has better chicken wings, right?
I
But
know.
but
Poor Billy.
Kelvin Johnson is Kelvin Midas, man. Everything he touches turns to gold.
Ooh, I like that one. I like that one. But no, listen, dude, the fan forum is speaking the words that we're saying right now. I mean, we're echoing everything they're saying, right? Like we've got a lot to be excited about. I know you have to go, but I wanted to get your opinion, dude,
Oh, I
because you
got it.
are a freaking Tigers fan. What do you think right now about this legendary start we have going on?
I think that I was just telling Eric about this. Eric doesn't dig sports, but he's enthused when I get enthused, and he's happy when I'm happy. And I think what we got going right now is paying off. Our pitching depth is so legit that we got high draft picks that aren't going to get called up. They're going to be
Hmm.
trade deadline guys. We got depth everywhere but third base. So what are they going to do? That's my question back to you. What are they going to do at this clip? If they continue on this clip, what are they going to do at the trade deadline? I think that they're going to be buyers to shore up third base, to move some of these pitching prospects that are quality draft picks that don't have space on this team. I don't think it's just a hot streak. We're through April, we're through May, we're into June.
Hmm.
What did Sparky say? Sparky said you can't judge a team before what, 60 games or 80 games.
Hmm.
We're there. And this team is good. And
We're there, man.
we have Jackson Jobe showing up. What's his Skubal, who won the Cy Young last year, is
Looks
now
like he's going to win it again this
he's
year.
outpacing himself. Give it like 3 more years of this consistency or even less, and we're all gonna be like Verlander who, right?
I actually uh, I ran into Eddie Napick and we were talking about baseball, and he brought up the concept of trading Skubal, and I said, "Hold up, hold up." That conversation just went out the window last year. I said, "Tarek Skubal is your new Justin Verlander." I said, "Get ready to put his face on shirts, women to fall in love with him, and when hopefully we win a ring, and then we trade him to Houston." And again,
Soon enough, Apple will leak his nudes. We'll all see what he's packing. He'll bang movie stars. Let's hopefully get in this position where we have more than one a number one, right? That's the ultimate question,
yeah,
is if they're going to continue on this clip, who are they selling at the deadline to bring in the third base, to bring in the power bat, to acquire that one piece, right?
yeah, there's going to be, like you said, we need some type of cornerstone corner infielder. Um, the listen, we are the best record in baseball, but if you look at some of these averages with some of these guys, it gets me a little bit worried when I'm looking out long term. Like you look at some of these teams, dude, when we had Victor Martinez and Torrey Hunter
Well,
and Miguel
those
Cabrera, dude.
teams were special.
And I know they're special and they're loaded, but we need a couple guys hitting a little bit over 300. Come
Well, I
on.
think you got a skipper now, just like Leland started to do and made a World Series with. You got a skipper that understands small ball. You got a skipper
Does.
that understands the way that our park is constructed. You got a skipper that knows you don't need 3 guys to hit 300 plus. You need everybody to move people around the backs. We got a big park. We got a strong pitching staff. Just keep scoring runs. And when we can't score runs, no secret. When we can't score runs, our pitching staff is lights fucking out. I think maybe we look to acquire a true closer at the deadline. We look to bolster third base at the deadline, but keep doing what we're doing. Keep doing it.
Got breaking news, Hish.
Let's hear it.
Not only are the Tigers losing 10-1 against the Orioles,
It happens.
Tigers Jackson Jobe to get Tommy John surgery on injury.
What? This just happened? This is like live in color?
This just happened live in color.
Oh, man.
After further medical evaluation, Jackson Jobe will undergo right elbow UCL surgery and miss the remainder of the season.
Did he start tonight? Did he do this tonight? Or am I behind? When was this article published?
This article was published 2 hours ago.
Oh, shit.
I know. You brought up his name, and I'm just sitting there going, God damn it, dude, and we're losing 10-1.
10-1.
Or we lost
10-1 is
10-1.
not great, but it doesn't scare me. We had a big loss the other night.
No, I know, and you're not going to win every
Can't-
game. It's a
can't
winning
win them all.
series.
Can't win them all.
No,
But that sucked.
but dude,
That sucked.
it does suck. But hey, listen, I was going to talk about Dylan Dingler, dude. His fucking cannon arm.
Dingler is somebody that I wish we had this. I wish we had a Tigers podcast where we could go back a year. Dingler is my guy. He is the man.
Oh, and you would have called out Dingler.
I mean, not only does he have a great name, but he's just awesome. Dingler's the man.
He's just awesome. No, I agree, dude. I think he's a cornerstone of what we're going to be building too, because Pudge was a key piece in that 04 rebuild. You need that brain behind the plate.
Well,
dude. You need somebody
and
protecting the house.
when the mustache was called out as you're no longer the starting catcher here, how do you feel about that? He's like, dude, we have a great catcher in Dingler.
Yeah.
And I am just so glad to be a part of this. This is roster construction. I know it's not the same game. I know it's a longer season. I know it's a war of attrition, but what's happening in Detroit sports right now is emblematic or symptomatic of what Holmes and Campbell did with the Lions.
You're not wrong. Scott Harris is doing the same thing.
Extrapolate that idea of grit out, and
Yep.
I mean the draft is coming up probably before we podcast again. The Red Wings draft is going to happen on like the 26th or 7th of June. I think they're picking like 13th, so they're not.
Yep.
That lottery fucked them again, but they're not in this stratosphere of like top 3 or 4 picks. So there's a lot that can happen, a lot that can shift, a lot that they could do at the pick that they have. But you start looking at what I think Yzerman is trying to do, and he wants the grit, right? He drafted 2 steadfast blue liners, 2-way players. We got 2 of them to come up. We got another one in the pipeline. We got 2 good goalies. And now what they need to do in this draft is get that guy that can play both ways and be a force, right? Every team in Detroit is built now around this gritty, last man standing, punish you for coming into our house type players. And that's what Detroit is missing. That's what the Detroit Red Wings are missing. Not to pivot too far off of the Red Wings, but you look at this next man up mentality. What did I just say before you read this Jackson Jobe news? It's terrible. It's sad. But we have pitchers that we don't know what we're going to do with, and that they were going to be our chips at the deadline. So we've built depth. We have a pipeline across
top 5 farm system.
Absolutely. I think the last I read, I think we were number 1.
Yeah, we are.
I think.
I mean, and that's what the Dodgers were able to do, like you said, with these trades, where they just have a loaded farm system where they're like, okay, you go there, you go here, you go here. We got a lot of you still.
Yep.
I mean, that's the buildup that we've been waiting for. We've had shitbag GM like Avila who would have just squandered it all away. And Dombrowski, he was Trader Dave. That's what he did. He made trades, right? So he depleted our farm system and then left. So it's nice to see us back into this zone. You're right. They're looking for gritty players. They're looking for guys that fit the attitude of the GM and the coach that spreads into the locker room.
Yep.
The Red Wings, I know you have a lot of faith in the Yzer plan still. I don't have a lot to say against it. I still think we need to get TH, local legend
Yep.
Tom Herman, on here for
I
that.
look forward to that day. I would love to do an
I
hour
do
with
too.
TH.
I need to think about the Pistons, though, because they're on a potential blossoming into a contender, right? But
Yep.
Cade Cunningham, he needs his Joe Dumars, right? Isaiah had Joe. Cade needs
Yep.
somebody. And I'm looking forward because they have no first round pick. So I'm really looking forward to them making some type of acquisition with the money they have. I hope they fricking trade for Devin Booker. I think that would be awesome. A 1-2 combo. All four teams are pumping in the right direction.
You know
People
what?
are calling our number, 313-536-0878.
There you go, baby.
They're leaving you messages.
We should dead ass schedule a Pistons theme fan forum podcast for you and Bob. That's your guy. You and Bob Brave.
Oh, sure. That would be awesome.
Yep.
Wayne's a big basketball fan too, so
He's got the Raptors.
dude. I would love that, man. We need to do that, and we need to do this fan forum golf outing we talked about.
Yeah.
We need to get the fan forum out there and get people understanding that, hey, yeah, we are a Lions podcast. We love the Lions, but we love Detroit sports. We love Michigan.
We love Detroit. We love Michigan.
Detroit.
We love the banter, dude. We could get on here and talk about whatever for an
Power Rangers.
Yeah, dude.
It's happened.
All right, listen, my phone's ringing again. I gotta go, but glad to be back, man.
You know what?
That's what she said.
On that note, I will say it's glad to have you back, and thanks for listening. Hit subscribe, hit like, say hi to Eric, say hi to Maggie, Tracy, the dog, your neighbors, your cousins. Love them all.
You do the same, dude. I miss you.
God bless, and God bless America.
Peace.
Peace.